Your court television news starting now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a breaking news edition of the NJCourts news station. I am your host, NJCourts, and I want to start this show off first off by wishing everybody, especially the papas and fathers out there, a happy Father's Day. And knocking tables here. And just in case you might have forgot, let this be your reminder that today is Father's Day. So, being that it's still early in the morning, you still got some time to run over to somewhere and get a nice little gift, or at the very minimum, just go and make a phone call. Go and visit. Doesn't take much. I'm not a father. Well, technically a dog father to, two dogs right now. But I can tell you, I appreciate my dogs being here with me all the time. I'm certain if I was a father, I would appreciate just even a call from any one of my siblings on a day today. So please take some time today if you haven't already, and if you care to, not saying you have to, and wish your father a happy Father's Day. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you guys for taking the time out of your day today. That's kind of why I wanted to do this early this morning. That way we can, including myself, get to the rest of our day, whether it be celebrating Father's Day or just celebrating a regular Sunday. But I've got a little bit of some breaking news I want to share with you guys. This is going to be kind of a follow-up / update to the individual that we just started some coverage on as far as court coverage. And I think, a few days ago, I believe it was Friday. Today's Sunday. I believe Friday is the day that we broke the news in regards to the Jose Sanders incident, a.k.a. Making My Way in America. And at that time, although we were aware of, the charges that had been filed against him, we were aware of what his next court dates are going to be. The one thing that we still had not figured out yet was what exactly did he do that got him in trouble. And at that time, I had said, well, I'm going to go ahead and submit some requests and see if I can get a police incident report, body cam footage, something, so that way I can update you guys on as far as what happened exactly. So what I have for you guys today is not going to be an incident report. I wish, okay? As a matter of fact, I'm hoping I might even get that next week if I'm lucky, okay? What I have for you today is going to be even better, okay? Some of you may say, well, we prefer the incident report. Absolutely, okay? Because that's the legal document that we can all take a look at together. And we know that everything that was put into that report should be truthful, right? Because technically that is written by a police officer or a detective. And when they write those reports out, they're swearing on an oath that everything that they write down is truthful, okay? But what I have for you today is going to be even better, I think, which is going to be pretty much the incident report coming from the individual themselves that was actually there as a witness to most of what happened on the day that Jose Sanders, a.k.a. Making My Way in America, was arrested, okay? Now, I'm pretty much just going to read to you what was sent to me word by word. I also have some pictures actually one picture to share with you, kind of some proof of life, and that's in regards to Jose's dog, which was pretty much most importantly what I wanted to know what had happened to him, because at that time when we broke this news on Friday, that was a question a lot of you all had to me, and I didn't know at that time. I didn't have an answer for you as to where was his dog, what happened to his dog, okay? And I've just learned, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe his dog's name is Reese or Reese, Resse, right? You pronounce that as Reese, but I may be saying that incorrectly. So I have an update on his dog, as well as a picture that hopefully will show proof of life for some of you that still might not believe, the stuff that I'm going to be telling you guys today, okay? That's like I said, I always like to have some type of proof, whether it's pictures, video, audio, public document, legal document. In this case, I'm going to just be reading you a text message, okay? But I'm going to follow that up with a picture. All right. But in the meantime, while we let that notification go out, I was just actually shared this link here, and we're going to listen to a little bit of some music. Actually, you know what? I think we'll save that for later. We'll make that our exit music for the show. let's just get right into the news. I think we've already given enough time for people to join us this morning. And I figure most people are probably doing other things on this Sunday morning. So shout out to my replay gang that hopefully will catch this replay later. So let's get going with the news. Actually, let me just jump over to my comments so I can see what everybody's saying. And oops, let me mute myself, not pause myself. That way I can see chat on my phone. Brutal Impact. What did the sicko do? Well, I'll give you a brief summary. I would say the best way to start with the update is to, once this is over with, is to catch the replay of the introduction that we did on this individual. And that was the day that, not necessarily when he got arrested, but the day that this channel had found out about his incident when he got arrested. But I will give you a brief little background, and then we're going to roll into the message that I want to share with you guys. All right. What up, Zen? Good to see you, my friend. What up, TNT? What up, Brutal Impact? What up, Sicilian Princess? What up, YouTube Roach? What up, Nikki? Do some shout outs here. What up, Dancer? What up, Man, that one's going to be tough for me. Hold on. Hagwer? I think I said it right. I'm not sure if I didn't. I apologize. What up, TNT? What up, Sunshinery? What up, Roofer? Ooh, and I got some good news for you guys, too, that I'm going to share in regards to the road trip. As a matter of fact, it's great news. What up, Token? Token says, I'm buying my dad pizza. That sounds delicious. My dad actually loves pizza. I'm actually going to be barbecuing ribs today for my pops. He likes ribs, and also, I got a steal on him. Believe it or not, I got a full rack of ribs, baby back ribs, pork baby back ribs, for, after the whole discount, just under $5. It's like $4.80-something. Yeah. I think the original price was like $18 on those bad boys. So I'm stoked, and I love ribs myself. All right. Who else we got in chat? And happy Father's Day to all my fathers in chat. I know we've got, including the fur fathers, the fur baby fathers, like me. What up, the one and only? What up, Boring Bean? What up, BG? Looks like BG was the first in chat today. All right, let's get started. And if I missed you, I apologize. And welcome to everybody out there, even the people out in the bushes, all right? Just because you don't chat doesn't mean you're not an active viewer of this channel. So I appreciate everybody, including all the viewers, all right? So here we go. So just to kind of give you a brief update. So when we introduced this person on Friday, I believe, I introduced you with the 2 charges that they were arrested for. So let's start there, okay? So Jose Sanders, also known as Making My Way in America, that's the name of their YouTube channel, is an IRL streamer, or calls himself an IRL streamer, was booked and arrested into the Gallatin County Detention Center on June 7th at approximately 6:30 p.m. in the afternoon/evening. This was in approximately the location of Pony, Montana, which is in Madison County, but it is a very small town. They don't have their own detention center. So being that fact, they had brought him to the Gallatin County Detention Center, where he currently is being held and incarcerated at. He does have a bond amount. We won't get into all those details, but you can catch all that information on the original broadcast of this when we did the coverage on him, or the first episode or coverage on this individual. They did have an initial appearance on June 11th, and their next court date is going to be coming up on August 6th at 1 p.m. And then they've got a pretrial conference set for September 3rd. On their initial appearance court date, they did go ahead and enter a plea of not guilty to both those charges. And I'm going to go ahead and read those to you really quick. So the first charge that Jose was booked under was an indecent exposure charge, more specifically having to do with statute 45-5-504, open parentheses 1, close parentheses, open parentheses A, close parentheses. Affront or alarm, humiliate, harass, or degrade another. Then he was charged with a disorderly conduct charge, statute 45-8- let's see here. I got it right here. Excuse me. That is going to be 45-8-101. And that can be anywhere from open parentheses 1, close parentheses, to open parentheses 1H, close parentheses. Now, at that time, though, we didn't have pretty much any story as to what he did, what caused him to get in trouble. That's what I'm going to share with you now. Okay, so I'm going to read this just straight as I received it in a form of a message, as a form of a text message. This person, as a matter of fact, gave me permission to go ahead and read this. As a matter of fact, they're in chat if you haven't already figured out who they are. Okay, so let me just go ahead and start by reading the message. All right, so here we go. Actually, let me clear the throat here really quick. Hagler, I'm not too sure. I don't know the guy personally. I'm not very aware of any mental issues that he may or may not have. So I can't answer that question for you. I do know that it has to do with his drinking. That I can tell you, just based on what I read. Whether that's an illness or not, some people consider it, some people don't. But that I can probably tell you more or less is what's gotten him into trouble, and probably in a lot of trouble before in the past. All right, so here we go. So, Jose, he took a bus out, got picked up from Greyhound at like 3:45 a.m. He was already drinking when he arrived. He was drinking whiskey and beer with the landlord. Okay, so he arrives and I'm going to kind of just to make some sense to this story, because again, this came in as a conversation between me and this other individual. All right, so he arrived at the Greyhound bus stop at about 3:45 a.m. All right, and I got to see some conversations between Jose and this individual. I'm not going to share a lot of this stuff, and again, you can just take it as it comes out, whether you believe me or not. And again, I'm still going to present to you the incident report as soon as I get it, so that way we can fact check everything that we're going over with today. But I'm going to say, although I've never met this person personally, as a matter of fact, this is the first time I've ever met them or even been in contact with them, based on what they've told me and based on just some other things I've read in regards to Jose and what I've seen from his past live streams, I'm going to probably go with this story and be that it's very credible. Okay, so let's start over again. So he got picked up at the bus stop. So he was at a Greyhound bus stop at around 3:45 a.m. Between the messages that he had been messaging the person that picked him up, they had already told him, please don't drink. He had told them the reason the drinking even came up is he had told them that he had a bottle of whiskey that pretty much was dead weight that he needed to get rid of. Okay, so they reminded him, hey, why don't you just drink it when you get here, but don't drink while you're on the bus, okay? But he didn't listen. So he arrives at his destination drunk. It's 3:45 a.m. So then he continues to the drinking, okay? Looks like he continued drinking with the landlord of this person, okay? I believe based on the conversation, it sounds like they're at some type of mobile home or an RV park, okay? So they've got a landlord of the park there. And obviously this landlord has befriended this individual and Jose at some time. And now the landlord's, drinking some with Jose. Okay. This individual, okay, the person that Jose was going to be a guest of, says, I was just like, whatever, and decided to watch TV inside my place. At some point, Jose called the cops over his dog food being in my camper. All right. So let me reiterate that. So this says at some point in that whole morning of drinking, Jose called the cops over, and it looks like the call was made because Jose claimed he couldn't access the dog food that was being held in this individual's camper, which again sounds really weird, but remember, he's drunk, right? So it sounds like he's probably drunk, right? Time to feed the dog. The sun's coming up. Can't find his dog food. So he's knocking on this person's door. Maybe they're asleep. Maybe, who knows? But either way, it sounds like he couldn't find his dog food. So then he places a call to, a law enforcement officials or an emergency number, claiming that he needs police because he can't find his dog food. Maybe something like that. I don't know. We'll find out more or less when the incident report comes through. I'm just reading it as the message comes. All right. At some point, Jose called the cops over his dog food being in my camper. I didn't want to hang out with him being so drunk. And I don't know why exactly he called, but the police showed up and told Jose to go into my landlord's camper for the night and leave me alone. So excuse me. So the police did show up. Looks like they figured this was just a complete mess, had nothing to, do with them having to be there in the first place. So it looks like they told Jose to just go sleep it off at the landlord's camper, the person that he was hanging out with. Not where he's staying. That's just some person that he befriended while he was there at this park. And to leave the person that I'm communicating with alone. Okay? The drinking continued into the next day. Okay? The second day, like early 9 a.m.-ish. Okay? So this is day 2. Drinking is continued. The second day, like early 9 a.m.-ish, he was extremely plastered, rolling around the yard naked. This kind of makes sense now, probably where the first charge came in. At one point, my landlord came over to retrieve his bottle of whiskey back from Jose, and then my landlord left. I was inside napping when I woke up to Jose screaming something about, "You want to get me arrested for sexual harassment?" I didn't catch all that he said. Then the cops came again and they arrested him. I wasn't even going to call the cops. I was just going to stay inside and let him sober up. Just wanted to reach out and hear it from the horse's mouth. And then I asked them, I said, "What about the dog? Do you know what about the dog?" And they said, "Yes, I have the dog." And then I asked, "What's this dog's name?" Because I hate saying the dog. And that's when, like I said, I don't know if it's Reese or Risa or like Reese, but it's spelled R-E-E-S-E. That's the dog's name. But the dog is safe. And most importantly, the dog is with somebody that is taking care of the dog. Okay? Now, proof of life, just in case you don't believe anything here that I read to you. Here's a picture, most recently, of Jose's dog, along with, I'm going to assume, the person that's taking care of his dog's own dog. And I'm glad that they're looks like they're getting along great. This is a really nice picture. Let me share it with you. You guys see it? Now, I won't get too much into a lot of the other conversation I had with this individual, but there was something brought up, which, again, I'm just covering the criminal side of this individual. But because a lot of these people we cover have ended up being scammers, or most of them are scammers, okay? We've come to that determination, along with a lot of other traits they all share, right? Like being a narcissist. But either way, this individual, and I personally also think this is probably true. And again, I can't speak on his behalf. Only Jose can speak on his behalf. But it was brought up to my attention that they believe that the dog, just as I believe at this point, because this isn't the first dog that he's supposedly rescued, okay? I don't know if you guys remember, and we're not going to get into that whole incident when I think he visited Sarah the Beach down in Florida, and they ended up rescuing a dog at a park from some homeless. I don't want to get too much into it, but either way, I think that dog was pretty much abandoned, is the last time I heard, or was dropped off at a pound, okay, and just left at its mercy. But this was then a second dog that I know he had picked up, and that's where I was a little concerned, was because I knew, what had happened with the first dog. So where I'm going with all this is some of these people, especially people that are homeless, people that hitchhike, they do tend to have dogs. A lot of them, because, hey, just like with me, these are my best friends. They make great companions, especially when you're alone, right? But for a lot of these scammers, and sadly, it's probably a 50-50, they will use a pet, such as a dog, as a way to help them scam for money, right? Just put it this way. When you see somebody on the corner sitting there with a dog, you have a little bit more sympathy for them. Just kind of the way humans are. Most likely you're going to give them cash so they can get food for the dog. Whether they actually go get food for the dog, who knows? Same thing when these people are asking for rides. You would think it'd probably be more difficult to hitch a ride with an animal. Probably not. People probably, especially dog people, they probably would feel more sympathy for you, especially seeing that you have a dog, especially if it's like a hot day and want to give you a ride versus just seeing some crackhead out by himself, doing this and asking for a ride. Again, I'm not saying that that's the case, but unfortunately is something that we tend to see with a lot of these drifters, e-beggars, homeless people, whatever you want to refer to them. All right. Now, because this individual is now taking care of another animal, and that does cost money, I volunteered to see if it was okay for them to try to fundraise some type of money or put out a link to a Cashapp or a Venmo or something like that, so that if anybody wanted to help out with some dog food or dog treats, that they could send a couple of dollars to them. They said they were fine right now, but maybe later down the road, they could use some help. And I said, let's just put it out now because I'm a very forgetful person. And even if I say I could put the link out later, I probably will forget. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share the link to this person that is currently taking care of Reese. If you would like to help them out with, some dog food or snacks, that's up to you. I'm not asking you to, nor did they. That was something that I volunteered. And that I'm just saying, if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to. And this is a way that you can reach out. All right. So I will share that link right now for you guys. I've also put it in the description. Let me see here. I believe it's not, I know it is because I've already checked it out. And then I'm going to just confirm it really quick before I post it one last time. Let's make sure I put it correctly. Yep, that's it. All right. Here you go. All right, Boring Bean, you have a good one. Thank you again for reaching out, and I appreciate you taking care of Reese. I'm sorry that you've had to go through this whole incident or ordeal, but again, just thankful that you're there to take care of the dog, most importantly. All right, so that is the Cash App to the person, and if you haven't figured out who they are in chat yet, that's Boring Bean. That's the individual that I had this communication with this morning, okay? They wanted to reach out and pretty much give me the story from their mouth, and I did. I said, well, of course, I still am going to pull the incident report, and we're going to read that together, but I'm pretty sure that everything we read today is going to match up with maybe a lot that we're going to see in the incident report. Now, don't forget, of course, probably when he sobered up or maybe in the car ride, they took some more, witness statements from stuff that Jose may have said. Who knows? But either way, it kind of makes sense, right? An indecent exposure charge probably has to do with you rolling around naked in the, front yard of a public park or a, mobile home or an RV park. That's a good way of getting the cops called. And I'm sure that probably also came with the disorderly conduct charge. So those charges kind of line up with what was read today is all I'm saying. And shout out to whomever that individual was that even before this channel posted that Cash App link, that somebody looks like had already taken the initiative to help out with Reese and had sent some money. So if you're here, thank you for being a good soul. Now, there is another picture that I will not be sharing, but was sent to me to show proof of Jose and what he did. All I'm going to say is this. It is probably going to take a month to erase that image from my head, my brain. Hence why I won't share it with you guys. Also, I'm not too sure if I even have a if I'm even able to do a blur I don't even know if the blur option is even able to go that small on the part that I need a blur. That's the only other problem I'm having right now. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to post the picture, but I do got to blur out a private part. And unfortunately, the software that I use to edit just does not allow me to blur out that small of a private part. So that's the biggest issue that I'm running into, biggest/smallest issue. 7-Eleven manager. I'm not going to answer that question because truthfully, I can't say. I don't know if what I'm looking at is a very small male private part or a very enlarged female private part. That's all I'll speak on. And that's all I'll say on that. Oh, okay. So before I forget, let me take this picture off of here. Cute dogs, by the way. I have an announcement in regards to the road trip. All right. Got a lot of good news, actually. Road trip will be commencing as we spoke. I will be leaving Tuesday morning. So that is going to be officially going on. And again, thank you for everybody's patience. I did have to postpone the original day that I was leaving. We ran into a family emergency. I kind of explained to you guys what happened the last live stream that I came on. But everything has been handled. I will be leaving this Tuesday as I had changed the date and said I would be. And I got some other good news. Well, hold on. Let's knock on some wood really quick. All right. I was able to order, and fingers crossed, based on what it's told me now, let me share this with you, actually. I am hopefully going to be getting my little phone cooler before I leave on Tuesday. It should be getting here tomorrow, okay? Let me show you what I got. And again, this was because of you guys. So we had put a little fundraiser, last week for some IRL streaming equipment. One of those pieces of equipment was a phone cooler for the back of my phone so we wouldn't have any overheating issues, especially being that the road trip's going to be in Arizona, one of the hottest states in the country right now. So we hit our dono goals. So one, I want to say big thank you to everybody. And two, this is exactly what when I say 100% of your guys' donations go back into this channel. This is an example of that. So let me share with you exactly what I was able to purchase, order, and hopefully it will be here tomorrow, meaning that I can take this on the road trip, which I hope I can because it is going to be so helpful. Let me share it with you. That's it right there. Now, the one I wanted was like $39.99, but that one they wouldn't be able to ship to me by tomorrow, okay? So I took the chance of going with a less expensive one. This one did have pretty decent reviews. It's got like 4.1 out of 5 stars. And the reason I like this one, because they've got they probably got a lot of them, but of the ones that I looked into, they got about 4 to 5 different styles, okay? The reason that I chose this style specifically is it's got 2 things that you probably can't see on this picture. One, it's got a USB port on the top. So what you have to do is you always have to have this thing powered, okay? Unfortunately, it doesn't have its own built-in battery. It recharges. At least I don't think it does. Maybe it does. That would be even cooler. But from what I read, you always have to have it charged, okay? So I'm going to have an extended battery hooked up to this. Now, here's the cool part. Instead of running another extended battery to my phone, assuming I need extended battery on the phone, what you can do is it's got a USB port on the top. So what you do is you just run a little USB cable from the top of the cooler to your phone. So now you just need to use one source of power, one extended battery, and that will charge up the cooler and at the same time, charge up your phone. Here's the second reason why I like this one here. If you notice, it's got a little place, a mount for your stand, your tripod. Remember I was saying, well, how am I going to attach my tripod? Solution. Boom, right there. It's got the mount already built in. So I should be able to, one, bring you guys a stream that's not going to overheat. Two, bring you a stream that's not going to lose battery power. And three, bring you a stream that hopefully is not going to be so shaky. There you go. I know anchors are the best, Mia, but they're expensive. I needed something just to get me there and back. Now, once I get back, I will look into some better, like, let's just say this cooler sucks. It worked just for the trip, and that was it. Well, I'll look into maybe getting the more expensive one. But this was one that I could get shipped to me in just a day or 2 days, actually. I ordered it, the day before yesterday? So it's 3 days or 2 days technically. I don't know. Or did I order it yesterday? I can't remember. But it says it's going to get there tomorrow. I am so hoping this helps, Sunshinery. I mean, based on all the reviews I read, it does. They even show you a video where they have a little temperature gun. And unless the temperature gun's lying, you can see that it does totally decrease the high temperature when you're, playing games, running live streams, things like that. It even says, for TikTok live streaming, outdoor vlog, mobile gaming. And it is going to be very hot, okay? So, yeah, if I didn't have this, most likely I was probably going to be running into the issues. There were some things that I've already done on the phone that were hopefully going to help have this cooler not come in. And again, we're not sure if it is going to make it tomorrow. They say it will, but it doesn't mean it will. So let's just assume it doesn't. The next thing that I'm going to do is, this is plan B. So say the cooler doesn't come. This was actually recommended by Prism. The app that I use to live stream when I do the IRL streaming. It was the cooling pads that one of you guys had recommended, but they also recommended as well. Those you can find at Walmart. They're medical pads for, like, if you got a fever, you can put them on your head. If it's a hot day, you can use them to cool down. But they're just little pads, look like oversized bandages that have some type of membrane that, one, deflects the heat, but also cools down the whatever you put it on. So that's my plan B. All right. Well, brakes, this one said it's supposed to be a quiet fan. Now, maybe for $24, that's what I get, what I paid for. And maybe that's why the more expensive ones run a quieter fan, but we'll see. All right. But I will say this. I would probably say having no stream over just a little hum of a fan is a little bit better than having no stream. But we'll have to test it out, and I'll let you know. Well, obviously, you guys will know if you're following the live stream, which I'm going to say this. I am very looking forward to this road trip. I've got a lot of fun, cool stops planned for you guys. Pretty much, I have a main destination that I'm headed to. That's like the goal to reach there, which we will be there. But along the way there and along the way back home, I've designated some really cool stops that pretty much my goal is to show you guys the experience of the Wild Wild West, all right? The good old cowboy and Indian days, all right? Which I'm in New Mexico. Is a great state to experience that, but ultimately the state of Arizona is one of the best, all right? And it's Zen, I know it's going to be a blast. Honestly, the only thing I was really worried about was how to keep my phone cooled. And I'm feeling so much better. Now, again, it's got to make it here tomorrow. But even then, I still feel good about using the cooling pads as an alternative, because basically they do the same thing as this thing, except the cooling pads don't last as long, right? Eventually, whatever membrane is in there cooling is going to wear out, versus this thing obviously goes as long as you got power to it. So let's see here. What else? Let's see if I have any other updates. I did check, just if I didn't say this earlier, just to double check, Jose has not bonded out as of today. So he does have a bond. He can bond out if he wants. Some of the reasons we discussed why he hadn't bonded out yet was, one, if he wants to use a bonding agency, most likely they won't bond him out because he's out of state. Okay. So the only way he could really bond out at this point, and again, I'm just assuming, okay, is if he bonds himself out. Okay. If he comes up with the cash. Now, I think after we totaled everything, more or less, it was like $500 to $600 between both charges. Let's just say $500. If he was able to use a bonding company, we said, well, the 10% of that would be $50. But even then, most bonding companies, they have a minimum. They're not going to go bond somebody out, do all that work for $50, $30, okay? Somebody in chat had said one of the bonding companies they're familiar with, their minimum is $100, okay? I have a feeling it has nothing to do with that. I have a feeling it is that he just can't use a bonding company, period. So if that's the case, more or less, he's got to come up with $500, give it to the court, then he'll be released, okay? But even then, he's still got to show up, or else he don't get his money back if he cares for that. And then if he doesn't show up, they issue out another warrant for him. So realistically, being in the situation that he's in, which I think is homeless, it'd probably be better for him just to stay in jail because, one, he's got shelter, food. Two, he can start getting some type of treatment or help if he's got anything going on. And then also it reassures him that he's not going to miss his court date. He doesn't get in any more trouble. Mia, update on plants. Oh my gosh. Well, one, this is a portable laptop, so I could take you out there, but I might lose the connection. So I'll just have to give you an update like this. They are looking fantastic. All the beds. Tomato jalapeno plants, beautiful. The random pollinator plants, all coming up, beautiful. The magical bean plants, which I think you're referring to. Now, here's the problem, though, I'm having. I'm coming up to the point where I'm going to have to start determining which ones are males and which ones are females. Remember, I didn't plant female-only seeds. And I'm going to be so hurt, especially on the bigger ones, the really nice, like I got a total of 12 plants right now. All of them look great, but like 4 of them are looking fantastic. And I just would hate to see one of those 4 plants being one that I have to trim, or not trim, just cut down, being that it's a male. Super Roofer, I did not top them. The reason is because it said that only to top the 4th node. We're already past the 4th node. So I think it's a little too late to top based on what I read. Maybe I read it wrong. But I think my plants are too tall now to top. But Blop, here's the thing. So far, all my little plants that just kind of budded prematurely, those ones were all females. So maybe I was lucky and they were like female seeds or something. I don't know. But one of the plants out of the 12, one of them is budding already. It's one of the little mini plants, the midget plants, the skiwis. It pulled a skiwi on me, okay? So that's all right, because out of the 12, 11 of them are growing fine. One of them pulled a skiwi on me, just kind of like the last one that we harvested, except this one looks a lot better. It's probably going to harvest like 5 skiwis, okay, because it's a little bit bigger and there's more flowers. But that's now the 3rd skiwi that we've grown that was a female. Oh, you just want to wait till the 4th node to top. Got it. Well, then I can go ahead and top them off. But I will say this. When I was reading about topping them off, it says the reason you top them off is so that they grow wider and not taller. But remember how I planted mine close? And remember everybody's like, don't plant them close. And I said, I get it. But, and I didn't do this on purpose, but being that they're planted close, they're kind of almost doing the same thing that topping does, which means it made them just like grow wide and bushy instead of tall and lanky. Oh, I've got way more than 4 nodes on all of them. All right, well, I guess I got some topping to do today then. But they're looking good, my friends. They're looking, I mean, let's just put it this way. So those 4, the taller of all my plants, those are already above my waist. I'm 5'5". Remember, I'm adding an inch or 2. I'm pulling the ski mask. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really 5'4", okay? So they're already up to my waist and higher. And the rest of them are almost up to my waist. I will listen to Roofer. I've actually not fertilized anything. They're doing good without fertilizer. That's the one thing I'm not going to do is add anything else to them because this is an experiment. I want us to be able to show people if it works. Maybe it doesn't, but if it works, then technically I can say that all I did was just throw some seeds into the ground, add some water, and ba-boom. Roofer, you know what? When I first started this project, I didn't think I was going to yield much, but again, knock on wood, I think I'm going to yield at least a one LB, an elbow. And now I know next time I don't have to plant as many plants, especially if I get female-only seeds. But the reason I planted so many, in case you're wondering, is I didn't know which one's going to be females or males. So I wanted to still be able to have at least, a few plants that were going to be females out of all the ones I planted. You know what I mean? Because the last thing I wanted to do was, let's just say I planted 3 plants, right? 3 seeds, planted them all perfectly, apart. All 3 of them grow beautifully, and then they're all males. There we go. So pretty much I spent all that time growing 3 males that I'm not even going to be able to use. So that's why I planted so many of them. And again, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. This is my first year, and why I planted them so close. But honestly, I think it's helping that they're so close, and it looks cool. I harvested 11 plants 5 days ago, 6 of them were my own crosses. Nice. You get females from random seeds about 75% of the time. Okay, that's good news, Roofer. That's good news. So, I mean, and maybe it's just the natural fertilizer that came into the... So, you guys, if you don't remember, when I did mix up my soil in the garden beds, I mixed with the native soil, and it wasn't a lot, okay? I mixed in a little bit of the that Stay Green soil, just your regular potting soil with a little bit of fertilizer in it. And I don't know if that's what's helped the plants bloom as good as they have. Maybe the native soil is just pretty good, but they're growing pretty fast, and they're looking good. They're looking really good. You live and learn. Exactly. I know, Roofer. I know they're midgets compared to a lot of your guys's, but they're looking, for me, my midget plant's looking good. And actually, I don't think they're midgets anymore. I think they're Hubby said most likely the dispensaries are females. That would be awesome. Now, remember, I didn't buy these from the dispensary. I bought an ounce from the dispensary, and these came in the ounce, in the shake, bottom of the shake. Okay, Roofer, I will. Actually, I might even have a recent picture of mine. So let me show you. I'm going to share Roofer's since he said I could. And then I'm going to tell you something about it, because that's what makes it even more impressive. Here, I'm going to send him to my phone. I know there's quicker ways to do this, but I'm old school. I always email the pictures to myself. And then I got to open it on my laptop. All right, here it comes. It's coming. Okay, and then let me show you one of mine. And we'll compare. We're going to compare mine to Roofer's. Oh, there's that picture of Jose. I got to erase those off my phone. Last thing I want is those getting backed up into my cloud. Oh, man. How do I not have one of the most recent ones in my damn garden? All right, well, I'm going to show you Roofer's. Then I might go take a really quick picture of mine and show you. But, all right, let me show you Roofer's really quick. Wait, is that my main account? Oh, yeah, this is the one I want to be at. Here they are. Download and download. All right, now I can show these bad boys to you. All right. You guys see that? Those are roofers' plants. So that's last year's. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you is this year's. Yeah, those are looking good, man. They already got the buds. Now, one thing I want you guys to realize, all right? This is just according to Roofer, and I don't think Roofer is pulling my chain here. Roofer claims this is just one plant. One plant, okay? Now, hold on. I'm going to take a quick picture of mine. I want to show you mine. I got to. Hold on. All right, I'm back. All right, now you're going to check. Here's mine, all right? Check this out. Not too bad. I think I can zoom in a bit. You can even see the little one of my little transplants on the far left. All right, now I'm going to show you a side picture so you can compare it and see. Now, here's the difference, though. This is not one plant like Roofers. What you see here is like 11 plants. My tallest ones are in the back. Now, let me show you like a side shot. Oops, wrong one. Wrong one. Oh, I got to download it first. Oh, I got to send it first. Jeez Louise, NJ. All right, here it is. I like this picture better because you can kind of, one, you can see the other garden bed, but you can compare it. All right, here's another picture of my crop. We're comparing who's bigger than whose. Come on. There it is. There you go. So there's like a side view. So the left bed, that's the bed with all the pollinators. Oh, and I did figure out which pollinators I have, okay? I have sunflowers. I have one pumpkin, that big-ass plant with the big leaves. I figured it out. It is a pumpkin plant. I also have, sorry, I wrote them down here. I also have, let's see, plants, pollinator plants. Where is it? Borage. I have some borage. And then I have some, those are, where are they? They're really pretty. Those are the ones that I picked when we went to the, that pumpkin field. I don't see them on here, but they're really pretty flowers. But anyways, yeah, so actually watch. So let me zoom in now from the side here on this one so you can see a little bit better. Oh my gosh, I have so many crap up on this screen. Okay, there it is. See, and that's actually a jalapeno plant to the right of it. So that little plant to the right of it, that's actually, so that jalapeno is almost like 2.5, 3 feet. So you see the top of that one big plant on the back? It's like I said, it's almost at like 3.5, 4 feet. I know they need more space, not at 2+2. This was my first time growing, first outdoor grow. We're just going to leave them. I know we can transplant, we can do all sorts of stuff, but we're just going to leave them and let them fight. The strong will survive. Now, I'm starting to take care of them. I'm going to top them off, and we'll see what happens with that. Yes, very first time. And as a matter of fact, these aren't any special seeds. We haven't put any special fertilizer in it. Nada. Literally just germinated some seeds that came in a little bag, an ounce bag of some shake. Put them into the ground. Actually, the ones that are growing the tallest, believe it or not, were the seeds that I didn't germinate. Those were just the seeds that I just threw in straight to the ground. Well, Mia, it don't matter anyways, because even if these just all died today, I still did good on the ounce, because you want to know how much I got? Both? I got 2 ounces, actually. So technically, there could be 2 different strains of indica within these plants, okay? And Sunshiner, you might have to help me if you can remember, but I think one was Straw Dog or Straw something, and then the other one was like a purple something. And I got both those ounces, 2, yes, you heard me right, 2 OZs for the price of $60, 60, including taxes out the door. Aaron says to clone some. Yes, the Star Dog. Thank you, 716 Misfit. Purple Haze and Star Dog. Sorry, I'm yelling. I mean, like I said, this is my first time growing cannabis, but it's been exciting. I've had a good time. No. For both ounces. $60 for both. It was for their what day was it? I always say April Fool's, but it wasn't. It was the Leprechaun Day, St. Patty's Day. And in addition to those 2 ounces, not to rub it in, because I was waiting in line so kindly, they also gave everybody a free pre-roll token. So you got a token to redeem for a pre-roll. And then while we were waiting in line, somebody came by from the store and handed out real pre-rolls. So actually, technically, I made out with 2 pre-rolls, 1 gram pre-rolls, mind you. So 2 1 gram pre-rolls and 2 ounces and a bunch of cool swag like stickers for $60. St. Patty's Day sale, yep. And pretty much anytime they have a sale, that same dispensary sells about the same deals. Pretty much you can get 2 ounces for about $60, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. But there is your update. And I'm glad you asked, Mia, because I wanted to show you guys at some point, but I didn't want to do a whole live stream just on that. So here you go. Aaron, well, so far, knock on wood. Because remember, you're asking me before about the worms and the bugs. No worms. There is a little colony of ants that have been running back and forth on the little piece of wood. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if I should wipe them out or if the ants are actually going to protect the weeds from other things. But no worms yet. I've not seen any worms. Ooh, white widow, white rhino. So there's some frosty names. Means they've got them frosty buds. And don't forget, technically, since this is going to be my own strain, I have already named it Frosted Flakes. And that was given to the schemat, the first midget plant that I harvested, which you can catch that live stream. I know a bunch of people hated me for it. But hey, it did get me high. And it did taste okay. Some pound cake. Ooh, actually, I had some pound cake in the oil the other day, and it was delicious. As a matter of fact, they ran out of that flavor, so I must have not been the only one that thought the same thing. So that actually, now that you bring that up, that is actually my new favorite oil that they carry at the dispensary is the pound cake. It's got all that really terpy taste to it. That's what I like. Yeah, I remember White Widow, like when I would read like the High Times magazines back in those days, like the early 2000s, out of high school. You'd always see White Widow. No, it's definitely been fun. And I mean, like I said, I've just barely started like learning. And again, thank you to a lot of you guys and gals that have given me a lot of tips and tricks. And again, next year, I'm going to be implementing a lot of those, the better soil, each individual, each plant's going to have its own growing bucket. Even though I've been a big fan of just the garden beds, man. Pretty simple, easy, except I do know I need to work on the spacing. That's cool, Roofer. What up, Marshall Leo? And it's very calming. Absolutely, Sunshinery. Well, I'll tell you what, Mia. I'll tell you what. That bozo could have done the same thing, okay, except he's lazy, right? So mark my word, the day that I go to harvest this, right? And it's going to be so beautiful, right? All those frosty buds, kind of like you already saw the ones growing on roofers, right? The day that comes, knock on wood, let's just say I get an ounce, even an ounce, I'm happy with. Even if I just got a joint, I'm happy with. I had just that little skiwi I rolled from the little plant. That got me excited, okay, because I grew it. But I will say this, the day that these get harvested, that guy is going to be having a fit. He's going to be crying. He's going to have some huge dono goal for like a pound of weed because I harvested a pound. And in reality, all that bozo had to do was just go get a couple of seeds and throw them in his mom's backyard, and he could be indulging in the same harvest that me and a lot of you all that planted at the beginning of the season will be indulging in here in a few months. And don't forget, these green plants you see in front of you, keep in mind, are currently in the temperature of about 99 to 104 degrees, depending on the day and the time of the day. We are in southern New Mexico, ladies and gentlemen. It is hot. Hence why I'm growing jalapenos and tomatoes, which they are looking very good as well, too. What I'm looking forward to is when I start seeing all the sunflowers blooming. And on a positive note, I get a pumpkin or a few pumpkins come pumpkin time. That's going to be cool. Have a few pumpkins to give out to the niece and nephew for free. Now they don't got to buy pumpkins this year. And I look like the cool uncle. And they get to cut them out of their own pumpkin garden here at the house. Anyways, that is the update as far as the magical bean plants go. And again, thank you guys for talking magical bean plants with me. Even though it's not court related, I enjoy it. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I appreciate everybody that's joined me on the magical bean journey, as I've nicknamed it. Yes. Also, another reminder. So because I had to go run an errand yesterday, I had to go pick up my mom from the airport. I was not able to make it to the post office as I was intending to, okay? I was originally intending to go tomorrow to pick up NJCourts, but that happened earlier. So I'm going to be going, post office is closed today, so tomorrow I'm going to start mailing, and then Tuesday I'm off. So as much as I can mail out tomorrow will be the first stage of mailing out buttons, and then as soon as I get back from the road trip, I will start mailing out the rest of them. But if I've mailed out one, you will know because I'm going to notify you. Let's see. What else? Road trip, we already talked about. Plan update. Update on Jose. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got a lot of paperwork that I'm hoping is going to be coming in, a lot of requests that I put in last week, and I'm going to be putting in some more this week. Oh, yes, I just remembered. Tomorrow, I may be actually, before I leave on the road trip, I may be actually featuring a new individual. Remember, I kind of spoke on this on Friday. So tomorrow, I may actually have a breaking news update, and it's only going to be on one person unless some other breaking news comes up. And that is going to be introducing somebody, another individual, to our roster of people that we're covering so far. So be prepared for that. I know we already got a lot of people already on the list. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people we're actively covering right now. Going to be adding another one to that. So that should be tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do a morning or an evening stream on that. But as soon as I find out, I will put out the notification. And then that's probably going to be my last court-related stream. And then Tuesday, we begin the road trip. So that's going to include live streaming from anywhere I can. That as long as I have data and my phone's charged, I will stream for you. That's going to be like along the trip. Now, of course, once I get to one of the many destinations that I have planned for the trip, oh, yes, there will be live streaming commencing from that destination. But for example, say if there's a really cool or really scenic part on the road and I have data and I think it'd be something you guys would like to see, I'll go live while I'm on the road, right? Can't do much because I'm concentrating driving. Can't be interactive with you guys, but at least you guys get to see what I'm looking at. But you betcha, as soon as we get to somewhere where I think is going to be cool and fun for you guys to check out, as long as I have data and I'm starting off with a fresh, unlimited data, which I always have unlimited, but they start throttling you down at a certain amount. I'm starting fresh, no throttle data at all. Okay. So, unless they just don't have data period in that spot, we should be having some quality live streams coming your way, especially assuming that the cooler comes in tomorrow. So fingers crossed for that. Yeah, I guess it does depend on where you're at. Some fools might, hey, And that could happen here, all right? Just because we're in the burbs don't mean mofos ain't be robbing plants, all right? I get some little skiwi looks over that wall and sees those plants. You know what I mean? So that's why we got Rio and Dobbs on the guard. That's your guys' cue to come start barking and act crazy. Oh, they're both sleeping right now. It's that time of the day, doggy nap time. What up, Hypervigilance? What up, Meaty Parts? What up, Crystal Meth Andy? What's up with Jose? Oh, man. Unfortunately, I'm ending the stream now, so you might have to be part of the replay group. But this is going to be our second update to Jose. So if you haven't even caught the first one, I recommend starting with that one that we did on Friday. And then immediately I started this stream right to it. We got right to it and catch today's update, which today, first update, we went over the charges, but we didn't know what he did that exactly got him in trouble or arrested. Today, we found out more as to what he did, and we found out more or less that he's the dumbass that called the cops and got his own self in trouble. Remember how we always say it's always the damn camera or streamers that are the ones that at the end of the day are usually the ones that end up having the cops called on themselves or the reason why they're getting arrested or in trouble? Here's another example. But either way, we are still hopefully going to be getting the instant report. I am going to be sending that request this week, and we'll use that instant report to, fact check what I went over today, okay, with you guys. So, as far as Jose's updates, waiting on instant report, waiting on to see if they'll grant me access to a body cam or not. And we've got a next court date that is going to be coming up in August, all right? Now, what do we got coming up for June? We've got just one more court update, meaning that, of course, things can come up, but being as far as already scheduled, we've got Hampton Brandon at the end of the month on June the 25th, 1:15 p.m.'s got a hearing going on because I had a lot of people that were wondering about Hampton. I guess he's been streaming and acting crazy. Oh, he's still got his court date. I don't follow him, but I did see some clips that, yes, he has been most recently streaming, and he does sound crazy. In one of them, he was talking about birds now talking, which he says the birds always talk to him, but now the birds are giving him directions, is I think what he said now. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that's just in preparation for his case, but either way, no, he's still got court at the end of the month. We need transcripts. We're getting there, man. We're getting there, Roofer. We're slowly getting there. And I'm out of water. I'm just down to my ice. All right, my friends. I'm going to wrap it up and call that a live breaking news edition of the NJCourts news channel with your host, NJCourts. Don't forget, today is Father's Day, so please go enjoy the rest of your day with your family. Or if that's not what you're going to do, I hope you have a wonderful day doing whatever you're going to do. And I look forward to you guys seeing you this week. All right, we got a lot of fun stuff planned for the week. We're going to start tomorrow off with our last court update before the road trip, and then Tuesday we commence the road trip. All right. So with that being said, if you have any questions, comments, complaints, don't forget you can reach out to me via Instagram, via email. Don't forget to keep your head on a swivel. Don't forget to check that 6 every once in a while. Don't forget, especially today, to love somebody, especially your papas. And most importantly, don't forget, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys taking your time being here today, all right? So, with that being said, NJCourts is officially out! Rio, where's my sidekick? Not today, I guess. I'm here. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We'll see you mañana. Peace!